Luke says, "You are wrong, Leia. You have that power too." And she does, in Star Wars Legends. Welcome friends to another Star Wars Legends video. What if Princess Leia had become a Jedi? That is the broad subject we will explore today. She does pick up some basic skills, such as deflecting bolts, drawing her saber, to her meditating in the early novels, but her involvement with the New Republic puts the brakes on her joining the Jedi Order, until the Dark Nest Trilogy, which is what we will draw from today. We will see what she learns from who, and end with a display of her skills. Spoilers for the trilogy throughout. Let's get straight into it. Leia tells Han she wants to dedicate and earn her place in Luke's new Jedi Order and asks Saba Sabatine to be her guide. Saba is a Barabel and is a master at this point. Leia makes that choice as she wants to be challenged by someone. They are later in the Academy grounds, and Saba tells Leia she must meditate despite having urgent information to share, and Saba says Leia must learn obedience. She does meditate and sees it is not the information she is worried about, but Han, who she has left behind. She was so used to travelling with him. Corran Horn finds Leia and asks about the fizz she carries. She wants to deliver it to a Jedi, Silgal, for investigation. The fizz is from the enemy they fight, a clue if you will. Saba points out that Leia should not question another master, and she should help Corran with his report to Chief Omas. Leia is against telling Chief Omas, head of the New Republic, because of the choices he might make, but Corran points out that if Leia was in charge of the New Republic, she would want to know, so he will tell Chief Omas, though the Chief might not act in a way Leia likes. Leia says the Chief might take control of the Jedi Order, but Corran says the Jedi Masters would not let him. It would lead to the Jedi becoming a political tool, a mistake made by the Old Republic. Later, Saba and Leia are on the Falcon and are pulled out of hyperspace. Saba says it was the Star Destroyer that had pulled them out of hyperspace. It's not friendly. Leia questions this, and Saba takes her lightsaber. Leia asks for Saba's instead, and Saba sees Leia has learned. Last time Leia had disagreed to hand hers over, Saba had hit her on the head with it. Leia thinks the commander, Gavin Darklighter, will help them. Saba says he will have his orders though, and in short they evade it, the Star Destroyer, but then another one appears, with Lando's asteroid tug tractor beam. It attacks and they are captured. As they leave the Falcon, Leia says they should not draw their sabers, though, as she can feel, the soldiers are scared and they do not want to make things worse as they leave the ship. They go down the ramp and use their force to push the soldiers' blasters aside, but they are knocked out by the riot gun stun beams. Leia is captured and then breaks out of her cell and tries to use force intimidation on a guard like Saba did, and is able to see the general. Then she warns him and says Luke has warned her. Kilix, the enemy, are on board. Kilix are a insectile race and currently in conflict with the New Republic. Shortly after, they are attacked by Killik soldiers. The Unu soldiers were as large as Wookiees, with golden thoraxes and big purple eyes, and scarlet carapaces covering their backs, and in their 4 pincer hands they carried both shatterguns for ranged combat and short tridents for close fighting. Leia gets past the pellets. She removes the head from one and another its middle. She force shoves a trident away and kills it, and many more. She then sees with the insect creatures Amela Ra, who was once a student of Luke's and is under the Killik's influence. Leia hurls one soldier at her. Alema cuts the body in half. Leia leaps between the halves and force shoves Alema and strikes down with her saber. The blades meet. Leia kicks the Twi'lek back, then slashes at Alema's limp arm. It's blocked. Leia sweeps both legs. Alema lands on her back before Leia can finish her. A soldier interferes. Alema snap kicks Leia's head, and they exchange more moves. and they were then both on their feet facing each other. Leia kept attacking Alema's weak side. Leia hacks off some of Alema's leku, her hair, which is packed with nerves. Alema calls her lightsaber back to her. Leia ducks and stabs for Ra's heart. Alema does a snap kick, and Leia pretends to be more injured than she is, and was going to strike at Alema, but a security hatch opens, and Saba and Leia's bodyguards have arrived. Alema retreats at facing these. Later with Han, to get out of a hangar, Leia pulls down a TIE clawcraft. Leia and Saba and Han then race for the ship. She and Saba also pull half a dozen Charrick rifles out of the Chiss troopers' hands. Then with lightsabers create a shield of light synced through the battle mail they share. Each beam from a Charrick gun mazer beam carries heavy kinetic energy, and so Leia calls on the Force to make her grip stronger. They get on the Falcon and escape. Leia ended up in the jungle with Saba, feeling the life around them. Saba moved stealthily, catching food when she could. Leia and Saba were there to deal with the parasite bombs. They had fallen and split up, so the Jedi had to do the same. Leia wishes she had a repulsor sled, but Saba didn't like tech crutches when the Force could be used. It is now that Leia sees Alema Ra again. Leia fires her pistol and activates her saber. They exchange kicks and lightsaber slashes, and Leia disarms Alema and fires at her, but Alema launches herself backwards. After Leia sees she has taken half of Alema's foot off. When Leia jumps, Alema twists it so she falls. Leia calls on Saba's training, and she hooks a branch to stop herself falling further. But Leia's memory is affected by the fall, a concussion, but she does manage to hold onto her lightsaber. Saba had said to die with it in her hand. The blaster was taken from her hands, and another of Saba's teachings comes through to her, that she planned too much, and Leia simply began to advance, with the Force guiding, weaving her blade, as the book tells it, the frenzied slash, slice and rip of a Barabel rage attack. Her opponent stopped advancing, and then the Twi'lek gets the advantage, keeping her back defensively, and Leia realizes a predator is behind her, and that is why Leia, with Barabel rage attacks, using the Force to guide her feet on the branch. Then Leia feels the predator close. Leia does a Force flip and aims for Alema Ra's head, but she blocks. Leia lands and pushes the Twi'lek at the predator. It bites her sword arm, then the rest of her up to the legs. As its eyes settled on the Alderaan princess, she cuts the branch away and it falls to the ground. Saba returns, having destroyed her bomb, and says she is proud, a rare compliment from her master. Leia has lost her bomb. Saba then takes the saber off Leia and says she should make her own now, and later Luke says she should consider herself a full Jedi Knight. I hope you enjoyed this insight into what Leia was in the Star Wars Legends, and so now I turn this over to you. Anything to say? Go for it, and comment down below.